Alright, so next up on the list, we have a close encounter with the Tails doll. Ooh, spooky. I'll never really understand why people thought Tails doll was scary, but whatever, that's irrelevant. One late afternoon, I invited some of my friends to play Sonic R. As we turned on the Sega Saturn, we were excited for our racing tournament. As we were at the character select screen, I chose the Tails doll for humor. Most of my friends were laughing as they chose Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, Mecha Eggman, and Super Sonic. Later I won all the races since I am expert at this game. I realized time flew by, so my friends left. I still felt like playing video games, so I inserted my Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing disc into my PlayStation 3. That's one way to start a new paragraph. Me and my friends played a few races online, and a message popped... Wait, I thought your friends left. And a message popped up onto my screen coming from a user called Tails Doll. I opened it, and it said, "Thank you." For what? I sent him a message back to this user. Tails Doll then sent another message saying, "You won first place with the Tails Doll. I was watching you." I got freaked out and for a second thinking something was watching over us as we were playing Sonic R. Another message from Tails Doll saying, "Can you feel the sunshine?" and sent me a friend request, but I didn't accept it because I don't even know who this guy is. I sent all my friends a message saying, "Did you see anybody watching us?" Because I got a message from a user called Tails Doll saying he watched me win first place with the Tails Doll. My friend sent back a message saying they don't know him with a O. I searched Tails Doll's profile, but it said the profile doesn't exist. This is falling into all of like the most cliche traps ever, and I love it. I immediately turned off my PlayStation 3 and used my laptop to go to the PSN forums. I made a thread about my messaging encounter with the Tails Doll. I made a thread about my message encounter with the Tails Doll. Users were replying. They also reported getting messages after playing Sonic R with Tails Doll. An administrator deleted the thread, calling it nonsense. It was 10 p.m., so I went to the bedroom, turned off the lights, and slept. Yeah, you can tell this is really affecting this guy. When I woke up the next morning, I found a little paper saying, "Dear Richard, I am going to kill your friends to show them that they are fools. Sincerely, the doll." There was a little bloodstain where the doll was red. I freaked out and threw it in the trash and had a 1,000-mile stare until I got to school. I ran inside the classroom and screamed to my friends that they will be killed. The teacher thought I was the class clown, and I punished me with lunch detention for today. At lunch detention, in caps for some reason, one of my peers said they heard the Tails Doll after I told them my encounter with it. What made me get chills in my spine is that he told me I'm the Tails Doll's vessel, meaning that I pleased the Tails Doll by playing as him in Sonic R. The moment after he said that, the fire alarm rang and we evacuated the school. I ran inside the classroom and screamed to my friends that they will... Oh, wait, I got confused. I started reading the last paragraph. The image messed me up. It wasn't my fault. By the moment after he said that, the fire alarm rang and we evacuated the school. Smoke was coming from the 3rd floor, and it was a real fire. It was coming from my classroom. I came home early due to the fire. I told my parents about the fire, but not the Tails Doll. My father told me that my uncle and my cousins are coming. Luckily, my uncle was a retired veteran, so I might have some protection from the Tails Doll for now. Yes, hello, Uncle. The Tails Doll has been harassing me. Can you, like, keep me safe from the evil Tails Doll? Please? A few hours later, I told my cousins the entire story, and they didn't believe me, saying that it was a good, scary story, but this is reality. ... Suddenly, my cell phone was ringing. and it was my friend saying that he was having a party. I got permission from my parents, and I headed off to my friend's house. As I got there, we had a great time fooling around, eating like hell, and watching fights of drunk men. After a while, a doorbell rang. The music was so loud we couldn't hear it, so it rang continuously, until I noticed the sounds and opened it. It was my older brother, so he joined the party. I had a sleepover at my friend's house since it was too late to go home. Oh, right, he was at his friend's house, right. I woke up at 5 a.m. that morning and found a doll that looks like the Tails doll from Sonic R. Since I find no interest in dolls, I gave it to my little sister when I got home. My guard was down, thinking the doll conspiracy was finally over. I read my dad's newspaper, and I jumped out of my chair when I saw the headlines. It read, "Fire started in Eisenhower Middle School by unknown entity. 3 injured." Why are you surprised? It literally happened yesterday. It's why you had to go home from school, right? This unknown entity sounded like the Tails doll, and I became paranoid once again. I decided to be a temporary paperboy to end my boredom after breakfast. He was so paranoid that he became bored and decided to just become a paperboy. Okay. An hour later, all of the papers were delivered, and the days were quite casual with no school. As I checked the mailbox for letters from my classmates, I stumbled upon a yellow envelope, which is quite unusual. I ripped it open with curiosity. It was from your secret killer. It read, "My dear friend, I know where you live. I will not kill your friends, but burn their houses instead for even more suffering. Will you play with me?" I ran to the nearest trash can and threw it away, and I attempted to clear my mind. Wow. Oh my god. Late that night, several fire trucks came to several houses, and I realized that letter was actually telling the truth for once. What do you mean for once? Dumbass. This dude is actually a... This dude is actually a complete moron. School reopened the next day, and what happened last night made it to Fox News that morning. As I entered the classroom when I came to school, everybody was paranoid just like me. And when school was over, as I walked home, I found a paper saying, "I will see you, Richard," on the sidewalk. Then, I believed this Tails doll was actually real. No way. I ran as fast as I can. When I stopped, I saw fresh blood dripping down from a storm drain. Down a storm drain. I suddenly became sick and disgusted by this horrific sight. I ran even faster and was inside my home, and I locked the door tight. Something was poking on me, and so I turned around. Nothing was there. I ran upstairs to my room. The door locked for no reason. Nothing was inside. The lights went out for no reason. I heard footsteps coming from the stairs. A red light appeared. The lights turned on. It was the Tails doll! It told me in a demonic voice, "I will show you the error of your ways." It took out a knife, but turned around and floated outside. I closed my eyes in horror as it was killing innocent people. It came back saying, "Are you happy, knowing you can feel the sunshine?" It got a huge machete and was ready to kill me as well. I locked the door and dropped down from the window. With luck, I landed on the ground. Yes. The Tails doll was furiously slashing at the door. A piece of the door flew out the window, and the doll's dark eyes were glaring at me. It threw the knife, and it almost hit me. I found a chainsaw and told me it was doing a sacrifice. I jumped through numerous fences, but it was too fast. It has a slight cut from the chainsaw. Dripping with blood, I ran through an alley and floated straight toward trying to slice me into two. But before it was going to kill me, I found a wooden cross and shoved it in front of him. He burned like it was a bomb and exploded. I limped my way back home with the chainsaw and told my siblings an unbelievable story. What? Oh my god. This is like one of the wait, so he had the chainsaw? I thought he didn't, though. Like, here's the thing, like, look, it says, it found a chainsaw and told me it was doing a sacrifice. But then apparently it cut itself? What? What a wonderful ending. Like, first of all, like, figure out how to capitalize your, like, how to capitalize and uncapitalize your things. Like, look at this. Like, there's several, like, lowercase i's, uppercase i's. Like, random capitalization. You know, the bad grammar. The formatting is terrible. Like, I don't even know, like, what happened. There's so many plot points that go nowhere. This is truly one of the greatest, like, creepypastas I've read in a while.